Hello everyone, today we are going to understand about heat and its effects. So let's begin. First of all, definition of heat. What is heat? It is a form of energy. Okay, so it is a form of energy and this energy is known as thermal energy. Got it? And how can you say that heat is getting produced, or in what conditions you can observe this? So let's see what can be the examples of heat when you say yes, there is presence of some heat. The first one, when you rub your hands together, mechanical energy gets converted to heat energy and your hands become warm. So, when you just rub your hands together, what happens then? After a few minutes, your hands become warm because of the heat which is produced when the mechanical energy gets converted to heat. And next one, when fuel is burned, chemical energy is produced, because we know very well that burning of fuel is a chemical change, right? And because of this, chemical energy is produced, and then this energy is stored in the fuel, gets, and this chemical energy further converts into heat energy. Okay, the next one, the heat energy of a burning petrol is converted to mechanical energy in a car. Okay, and in any electric heater, electrical energy is converted to heat energy. So electric heater, that this also produces some heat in the form of radiations, and these radiations are come from the electrical gadgets that we use in this. In a powerhouse, heat energy of burning coal is converted into electrical energy. So basically, from where this heat comes? When solid, liquid or gas, when they are heated, and there are molecules that are present in all the states. These molecules, they starts gaining some energy and then they starts moving faster. And basically the movement of these molecules is called energy, or they just produce energy, and that is known as heat. So heat energy is therefore the energy of movement of molecules. Next is effects of heat. That means what happens if heat occurs. So when you can say what are the conditions when you say that heat occurs here. For example, heat causes increase in temperature. When heat occurs, the temperature rises. Got it? And heat causes expansion. That means the molecules present in the all the states of matter, they just expand to gain energy. Heat causes change of state. That means, for example, if you are just boiling a ice cube, then it turns into liquid. In the previous state it was solid, but after boiling, after giving the heat to it, it starts melting, and this leads to the next state, that is liquid. And next we have heat causes chemical changes. Like when you just cook some vegetables, it just changes the taste of it, and even becomes soft, so it shows the chemical change. Okay, the next one we have heat affects living organisms. So how does it affect the living organisms? For an example, if you just examine the water before and after the boiling it, first in the first one you will see some bacteria present in the water, but after the boiling you would not see any bacteria present in the water, and it shows that it affects the life of some organisms. Next we have expansion. So basically, what is expansion? The space occupied by the molecules. When something gets heated, these molecules, they just expand. and because of this the volume of that particular substance also increases, and this change is known as expansion. First of all, we have expansion in solids. So let's see how the solids expand. Here we have an activity. So let's see what do we need to do in this. First of all, take a ring and ball apparatus like this. A ring with having a ball. Okay. And this apparatus consists of a metal ring and a metal ball. This is metal ball and this is metal ring. Okay, and at normal temperature the ball just passes through the ring. Okay, but when we heat it, what happens then? This ball is not able to pass through this ring. Why? Because the molecules of this ball expand, and cause of this its volume becomes, volume increases, and if the volume increases, that means, and therefore the space is also increased among all the molecules. Cause of this the size of ball increases. Okay, and now it is not able to fit in it. Next we have expansion in liquid. So what happens when the expansion occurs in liquid? So liquids, they expand more than the solids on heating. So let's have an experiment for this case. First of all, what we need to do, fill a flask up to the brim with water. Take a rubber cork with a hole in it and insert a narrow tube in the hole, and then fix a cork firmly to the mouth of the flask. The liquid will rise a little in the tube. Okay, and note the level of this water in the flask A, and afterwards when we just heat it, you will notice the level of liquid. The test tube goes down a little, then starts rising, and it goes down initially at the flask when get heated, and then here expands. Okay, and this level in the tube goes up, and afterwards cool the liquid to the normal temperature, and then this rises level then further comes down. Next we have expansions in gases. So gases expand more than liquids and solids on being heated. So that means these gases, they just expand more than the liquid and solids. So here we have an activity. So let's see. Empty the flask that you used in the previous experiment. Okay, and fix the flask to the stand in an upside down position, right over a beaker of the water, so that the glass tube dips inside the water. Heat the flask at the top. As the air in the flask expands, and it escapes out of the flask through the tube into the beaker containing water, and bubbles of air can seen in the water. Cool the flask. As the air inside the flask contracts, the water rises up the tube. This shows that gas like air expands on heating and contract. So next we have expansions around us. That means there are some expansions that are around us, and sometimes we are unable to know. And let's see what can be these. The first of all, we have automatic fire alarm. So here we have the mechanism of an automatic fire alarm. So you can easily see the two plates are attached with each other. This one is of brass and this is iron. Okay, temperature rises, this plate, this bimetallic plate, it starts bending, and then it touches this metallic pen, okay, and when it touches it, it completes a circuit, okay, and when the circuit completes, it leads to the ringing sound of the bell, okay, and it makes an alarm. And after that, when the temperature is under control, that means the temperature is normal, in that condition this bimetallic plate, it gets straight as it was before, and then it is able to be used again. Next, we have the metal caps on the glass bottles can be loosened by pouring hot water over the metal cap. The metal cap expands on heating and loosens. Sometimes this expansion can cause some problems, like if we talk about the electric cables, they need to be left a little loose to allow for the contraction during winter, because in summer it expands out, and during the winter it just contracts, and if this is not done, they may break on contraction. And even if we talk about the railway tracks, they need to be separated with some wooden blocks, okay, because in the summer season these railway tracks which are made up of iron, and they just expand, so cause of this the distance between both can be increased, and even these iron plates can be bent. So cause of this we need to place this with some space between these. Next we have in a similar way, in steel bridges, one end is made up of rest on the rollers with enough space. The space between these is much, because during the expansion it would not come closer to each other. You must be observed that when you just pour something hot liquid in the glass tumbler, then it breaks. Why? Or sometimes it has cracks. Why this happen? Because the glass, or the tumbler, it has two walls. Okay, the inner one and the outer one, right? And when you just pour some liquid, the outer wall, it expands faster, because the liquid just directly firstly contacted with the first layer of the tumbler, and this is the outer one. And when you just pour some hot liquid in it, and at that case this wall, it is remain same with the outer temperature, and in this the temperature imbalances. Cause of this sometimes it has cracks. And nowadays we are using Pyrex glass. So what are Pyrex glass? These are the glass that shows that these are the glass that show very low expansions, okay, and if you pour something hot in it, the glass or tumbler would not break. Next topic of this chapter is temperature. So basically, what is temperature? It is defined as the quantity by which we can compare the hotness or coldness of the bodies kind of any object, okay. The hotter a substance is, higher its temperature, and as it is same with the colder bodies or substance, like if the substance is colder, the temperature is also lower, okay. And this temperature can be measured in Celsius, Fahrenheit and Kelvin temperature scale. First of all, we have Kelvin scale. So what is Kelvin scale? The temperature on this scale measured in the Celsius, that means degree Celsius, okay. So degree Celsius, and in this scale the temperature is measured in the lower fixed point with the 0 degree Celsius, and the upper one is 100 degree Celsius. The next one we have Fahrenheit. Its unit is degree Fahrenheit, okay, and its lower fixed point is 32 degree Fahrenheit, and the upper one is 212 degree Fahrenheit. Now let's understand the conversion from one scale to another. That means how you can convert Fahrenheit into Celsius and Celsius into Fahrenheit. So first of all, the range we have of Celsius is 0 to 100 degrees Celsius, and in Fahrenheit 32 to 212 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, so if we take the intervals of both, that means interval of both, like 0 is subtracted from 100, that means we have 100, and 32 is subtracted from the 220, that means we have 180. Okay, and when we take this in the least fraction, that means the least ratio, we have 5:9. Okay, like 100 divided by 180, so it is 5 and it is 9, so 5:9 we have. And now let's understand that how this ratio is used in the formula. So first of all, if you want to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit, then what you need to do, the ratio of Celsius would be down as a denominator. Okay, so 9 by 5 into C, that means plus 20, and here Fahrenheit will be added, that means Fahrenheit's lowest term will be added, and on the next one, if you want to change Fahrenheit to Celsius, then the Celsius term would be as numerator. Okay, so it would be 5/9, and this Fahrenheit would be subtracted. Got it? So this is the formula used for the conversion of the different scales. Next we have measuring temperature. So all the states can be measured, like solids, liquids and gases. Okay, and the instrument that we used for measuring the temperature is thermometer. Now let's understand about the different thermometers. The first one, we have a laboratory thermometer. So this thermometer ranges from -10 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius, and here are some precautions that we need to use before using the thermometer. For example, it should be washed before use, and it is delicate. This should be handled with the care of avoid breakage, and it should not be held by the bulb. So what is bulb? It is a small portion in which mercury is poured, and then this mercury, it rises with the temperature. Okay, and the next one we have, it should be kept upright, not tilted, so it should be straight. The bulb should be completely surrounded by the substance whose temperature is being measured, and the bulb should not be touched the sides of the container. That means, the temperature which you need to be measured for, it should be completely in that particular substance. And while reading the thermometer, the level of mercury should be at the same level as the eye. Now move to our clinical thermometer. So what is a clinical thermometer? It is a bit different from the others. So let's see what is different in it. Check the picture clearly of a clinical thermometer. So what happens here? It is bulb having mercury in it, and this thermometer has a slight bend, and it is known as kink. And when the thermometer is taken out of the out of your mouth, the liquid in the bulb contracts and the mercury column here breaks, and therefore the level of mercury in the stem remains same, right? And basically this thermometer, it ranges from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius, because our body temperature, it is 37 degrees Celsius to 98.6 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, so students, this was for today, and in the next video we will come with our next chapter.